Thank you, Georgia. So I'm located in Calgary, so I don't get to come to Fort St. John very often. And one of the more recent times that I was here was in November. And I don't know if you recall, but in November there was a lot of freezing rain. And so I was thinking, And then I happened to meet two powerhouses. And I was very impressed with both of them. One of them was Lilia Hansen, and the other one was Jennifer Moore. And we got to talking, and then that moved to the bar, so there was some wine, and there was a lot of laughs. And they started talking to me about this particular event, and they said, Liz, you've got to come. And they promised me a wow experience. And I have to say, it has been a wow experience. So before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to give a shout out to the women who were on the stage just a bit earlier. Such courage that took, and so amazing and inspiring. I just really want to thank you. I work for Petronas Canada, and I've been with the company for 2 years, and I have to say we're thrilled to be a returning sponsor of Spark. As a partner in Spark, it's my privilege to invite up on stage the next plenary session speaker, Linda Edgecombe. Linda consistently gets tremendous accolades for the wisdom she imparts and for the way she delivers her message. So I hope you've come back from this afternoon break and from that yummy granola, and that you're ready for a good laugh. I understand there's going to be lots of laughs. In addition to being a masterful trainer and consultant, Linda is an award-winning humorous speaker. In fact, she's among the top 60 motivational speakers in the world. As a best-selling author, her promise is to help her audiences create powerful shifts, become more accountable, and build on momentum. She has been featured in the Wall Street Journal as an expert in shifting perspectives. Her mission, as she describes it, is to get people fired up and ready to shift or get off the pot. At Petronas Canada, we're no strangers to making shifts of our own. Our most recent shift occurred at the end of last year when we changed our name from Progress Energy. This shift was a reflection of our parent company's commitment to Canada and the strength of our business in the company's global portfolio, and our focus remains to provide clean Canadian energy to the world. We're so lucky to have Linda here to energize us with her keynote today, and again for her breakout session tomorrow. Her message, as you will soon discover, is as welcome as a deep belly laugh and as profound as an honest look in the mirror. Linda, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I swear to God, I'm on. Thank you. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was big. That was beefy. But that's just highlights. You know that every one of us in this space, and again, I want to say also a shout out to the beautiful ladies that are up here. Holy crap, I'm like a senior citizen. Like, they are so young. But anyways, back to that introduction. Everything on it's the truth, but only the highlight reel. And the only reason I can actually allow that to be actually spoken, oh, and there's more, is I'm extremely human. I have got a lot of lowlights. So I want to know, hands up, if you've ever woken up one day and you looked in the mirror and you said, where the hell did you go? Okay, who did that happen to this morning? I mean it. Where the hell did you go? I had one of those sort of epiphanies. It's my 27th year doing this kind of thing for a living. 27 years. That's a lot. I just love the sound of my own voice. I just do. I do. But 5 years ago, I woke up and went, who the frick are you? Seriously. So I'm going to spend the next, 50 minutes, 55 minutes with you. Because, you know, here's the deal. How you do a really good day at a conference is you feed people, check. You make them laugh, I hope, and you let them go home early. That's what we're going to go after right now. I mean, I know you're coming back for dinner, but whatever. We need a break. We need a bar break. Are you not, right? We need a bar break. So let's talk. My favorite quote of all time: the truth is going to set you free, but first it's probably going to piss you off. And that's what leaning into the mirror means. It's nothing I'm going to say over the next hour. It's been said all day. I'm just going to hopefully tie a bow tie around this. When you lean into the mirror and you go, where the hell did you go? You got to get honest with yourself. So what's probably going to happen for me with you this next few minutes is I'm probably going to tick a few people off. I probably already have, because I'm pretty sure I've already sworn. I love to swear. I don't know what it is, but I just love it. I turn 60 next year, and I really don't give a rip anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you come to a place, or gives a shit. Really? I was 16 years old. You asked about turning points. 16 years old, sitting in a biology class. Mr. Bentley, very smart man. In came a whole bunch of grade 12 students. I was in grade 10, 1976. Hey, we're doing a blood bank today. Who wants to donate blood? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they go, oh, sorry. If you're not 18 and you're a girl, you can't. If you're a boy and you're 16, you can, because boys at the time were considered adults at 16, girls weren't adults until we were 18. And I went, what? That didn't seem, I'd never heard that, so it didn't make sense to me. And so he spent the next hour, very smart man, just going over all the injustices and inequalities for women. And I literally, boom, little flag went up. I said, I can wrap my head around this. That ticks me off. Because the truth might set you free, but first, it should tick you off. And so when you were also asking, because I'm telling you, you asked great questions. So who are some of your mentors? Like, what did you do? How did you keep going? When you felt like you were down or whatever. I'm thinking, I got mad at men. Because, yeah, we might have come a long ways, maybe, but my goodness gracious. Yeah, I want a piece of that glass. Where's that glass necklace? Where is it right now? I want it. Because that's a cool necklace. If it's not on your neck, by the end of the day, you knew who's got it. So, this is the only graph I have the whole entire presentation. And I took this picture, so it's not the best quality, but I was driving down the highway in Kelowna. That's where I live. Lukey, stationery company, are you happy? Yes. Woo, keep doing what you're doing. Are you happy? No. Here's the key to the whole flow chart. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be happy? And you know what? Yes, most of us, of course I do. Yes, I want to be. Yes, I do. And I say, you know what? No, you don't. You don't. Because if you did, you'd stop telling the same stories you keep telling over and 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 over. Think about this for a second. I told you I'm going to probably tick you off. Why do you gather your good friends? Do you ever think about why is it you gather your good peeps, your good friends? Because they will support your case. Ooh, you are right. Ooh, yes. Ooh, I'm mad at him too. Yes. But what does also a very good friend do? Call you on your crap when you don't want to hear it. And what does a very, very, very good friend do? Buries the body. That is correct. And then they tell you that you're no longer cute after you've had too much to drink. But anyways, that's after you've buried the body. But yeah, tell you the truth. Do you want to be happy? Yes? Then we're going to have to change something. I'm not a big believer of doing a 180 turnaround. The 180 turnaround doesn't happen that often. Sometimes it's forced upon us, but I'm a real big believer of changing the dial slightly. Just slightly. And so you've been here all day. I get it. We've been sitting lots. We've been fire hosing a whole ton of info at you. Your brains are, the bandwidth is probably done. I get it. So don't take anything in I'm going to say for the next part. If you really want to do some work, come to my workshop tomorrow. Then we'll dive in. But for now, I just want you to think, can I move the dial just slightly and see what happens? Now, I married a builder. Anybody else in the room married to a builder? Anybody ever slept with a builder? And in speaker land, that's what I call lobbing one out there. So I just lob that out there, and I'd say about 75, 80% of you laughed at that. So in my head right now, I'm trying to justify the kind of one-liners I want to throw out at you. And now I'm going to ask, should I keep going with the humor, or should I retract it? I just need to know. Just thought I'd ask. So I married a builder. And as Canadians, what do we love? We do love beer. What does beer go with? Hockey. Can you believe it's still on? Like, come on. Yes, we like hockey. We love beer. And my favorite all-time beer commercial is the old Molson's commercial. As a Canadian, I love the long weekend. Because we're going to cram a lifetime of fun into 3 whole days come hell or high water. You remember that commercial? But as Canadians and as Northern Canadians, what do we really love? We love the long, long weekend. And the long, long weekend is April 15th to October 15th, where we're going to cram everything we can possibly do until we have to hunker down, save our energy, and gain weight till the spring. That's exactly what we do. And guess what? We're on right now. The long, long weekend. This is when we're going to get some stuff done on this long weekend. Ladies, now you've done this already. What are we really, really good at? You've already sussed me up and down. What are we really good at? Overanalyzing. Yes, that's not the answer. What else? You've already done it to me. What else? You've done it to every other woman that's been up here. What do? We judge each other. Thank you. I never wore a dress. I mean, okay, another time. And I didn't have black shoes. You know why? Because my daughter, who's 23, borrowed them. I couldn't find them yesterday when I was packing. That's a side note. We judge each other. And when we're judging each other, in fact, it's so subconscious, we don't even know we're doing it. When we're judging each other, who are we actually judging? Ourselves. It's one of the harshest things we do to ourselves. So if you can catch yourself in judgment on this long, long weekend, it takes practice. Catch yourself in judgment and turn it into a curiosity. Why did what she just say bug me? Why did what she just said push a button on me? Why did I like that? Why didn't I like that? Curiosity. If you're curious, more curious, you'll be way more creative, and you'll be way kinder to yourself. So make curiosity your undercurrent as we move through this long, long weekend that we're on. Deal? Okay, I'm just setting you up. So how are you really doing? How are you really doing? In all truthful honesty, how are you doing? What's the most common response to the how are you doing question? Fine. Fine and good. They're the same. They're brilliant. They're brilliant, right? Fine is just this beautiful flat line right here down the middle. It's kind of beige, kind of porridge, right here. It's not bad, but it's not great. We're fine. And the people that ask you how are you doing, you respond fine. They don't want to know the answer. They just want to be polite. You don't want to give them the answer. You just want to get it over with. So we're fine. The second, it's been said 3 or 4 times already on stage, the second most common answer to the how are you doing question is, wow, busy. Holy crap, am I busy? Busy, 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 busy. In fact, truth, busy has become number 1 answer to the how are you doing question, and fine has actually taken number 2 seat. Because busy as a response gets way better feedback. Wow, how do you do it all? That's amazing. Now, if you're in this room, and I'm looking around at the room, and I just love that the lights are up. If you are north of 35 years of age in this room, we created busy. Our parents didn't create busy. Our parents were hardworking, right? Their parents super hardworking, not busy. Well, think about this. Oh, by the way, if you're under 35 in this room, you basically bought a ticket, you're on the train, and you can't get off. It is Hotel California all over again. You're not getting out, and you're pissed off about that too. Okay? So we're on the busy train, we're barreling down, and think about this in one generation. How did we create this? Busyness. I mean, you got the kids going here, you got the kids going there. They're in 3 sports, 2 arts classes, and taekwondo to boot. Oh, and then there's fundraising. Who in this room has something right now? They're trying to sell tickets for something in sport. School, hands up. Look at your hands up. Girl Guide cookies, something in your trunk. Okay, no, look, again, back hands up. Buy tickets off these people. It's a lot of work. How do you do it? I mean, if you're not renovating the old house, you're building a new house. And seriously, ladies, how much more throw pillows do we actually need? That's amazing. Now, if you're over 35 in this room, when you were a kid and you wanted to get somewhere, how'd you get there? Walk, biked, or bus, depending on where you grew up. My dad didn't even know where our schools were. Was never at them. Roger was never there. He barely made grad. It would be Tuesday night. I grew up in Edmonton. Tuesday night, middle of February, minus 35 degrees. I was at Air Cadets because I was an Air Cadet when I was a teenager, and I'd call home, minus 35. Dad, what's Dad doing? Watching hockey. Dad, do you think you could come pick us up? You know what he'd say? Figure it out, kid. And what did we do? And here we are. Busy, 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 busy. How do you do it? That's amazing. So when you hear those kind of comments, and we say them to each other all the time, what's that feedback feeding? Our egos. We are getting our egos stroked and think we feel good about ourselves, and we've forgotten or have not ever even learned how to nurture our souls and our spirits that actually make us feel that, oh man, joy. Like, seal clap joy. If I didn't have the mic, I would actually seal clap. Oh, I just love it. The place that really nurtures who we are as a person, as a woman, as a couple of fine gentlemen in the room. But truthfully, I'm talking to the women in this room. So let's talk about busyness for a second. Last year, I wrote, not last year, a couple years ago, I wrote Breaking Busy. And then I did a TED Talk on the book. And when you do a TED Talk, the franchise TED actually wants you to do some research. Not just Linda Edgecombe's opinion research, but actually go and find some other evidence. So I went looking for some other evidence, and I came across a fellow by the name of Timothy Wilson out of the University of Virginia. And Timothy wanted to figure out if we as adults could go into a space with nothing else except a table and a chair, no windows. You couldn't take, of course, any phones, devices, nothing. Sit there for 20 minutes and just be. Just sit there and come out. Tell me how that felt. He had an out, though. If you wanted out of the room early, he had a little box on the table with a little electrical current attached to the box. And you had to zap yourself, and it hurt. Now, it didn't harm you, but it hurt. And you could get out of the experiment early. Guess the percentage of people that zapped themselves to get out. It was over 85%. Yeah. The only people who actually stayed in the room for the whole 20 were women. That's tomorrow's workshop. But what he concluded, he said, we would rather harm ourselves than be alone with our own thoughts. That's how bored we've become. Because we check and we check and we check and we check. And I was doing too. I was checking. No hearts. No, nobody wants you. Bored. Then I found this report from the World Health Organization that the average young person, when I say young person, I mean between the ages of probably 17, 18, up to about 21, 22, last couple years of high school, first couple years of college, university, the average young person today is experiencing the exact same levels of anxiety as the average psych patient did who were admitted onto the wards in hospitals in the 60s. Oh, it gets even better when I read this one, because this one broke my heart. Guess where that energy's coming from? The parents. Not their cell phones. Us. And when I read that, because I have 2 of these, I went, I'm responsible for changing the energy in my own home. I had to get a handle on this. Oh, and then there's this great research project, very nice Photoshop photo of my husband and I. Don't you just sometimes wish you could just Photoshop your life? And from the outside looking in, if you're from the Okanagan, oh man, we got it going on. Oh, we do. Both award-winning business owners, travel the world, philanthropic awards twice, 3 times. We run this charity. Oh, we do such great things. We have a big life on 10 acres and a lot of toys that there's no time to use. And when you have a lot of stuff, what does that mean? You also have a lot of debt. Oh, we don't want to talk about that now, do we? It just sucks the air out of the room. We talk about debt. And when you have a lot of debt, what does that also mean? You have a lot of stress. And this dumbass, now I've been with him for 34 years, okay? So I'm calling him a dumbass. Remember, I married a builder and occasionally sleep with him. He fell off the second floor of one of his buildings a few years ago, and he broke his back, shattered his pelvis, ruptured his lungs, spleens, whatever, ripped. But he didn't hit his head, and he didn't kill himself. And ironically, he was going up the ladder that day. I mean, he runs a company. He's not doing roofing. He's going up the ladder to tell his guys to tie off because they were roofing that day. And this is how dumb he is. He calls me from the truck while he's driving. Who's in here in healthcare? While he's driving himself to Emerge and says, could you come down to Emerge because I'm going to get you to park the truck? I'm like, oh. So, of course, yes, he comes home And he has to recover for about 3 months. Now, here's the thing, and you know this if this has ever happened to you. When someone gets hurt at work, or someone gets sick in your lives, it doesn't just hurt the person that it gets hurt. The shrapnel of an injury or an illness goes far and wide. So he comes home to recover, and he's in bed, and he didn't get a little ding-a-ling bell. I need something. Ding-a-ling. I got to go to the bathroom again. Ding-a-ling. No, he got a foghorn app on his phone. That's what I would hear. I'm like, I'm going to kill him. And for the next 3 months while he healed, I completely unraveled into a great big giant depression again. Because I knew what it was. I'd been there before. And this is what I do for a living. And I was being the biggest flippin' hypocrite I could have ever been by telling you all to get a great life while I'm totally messed up inside. So, one day, about 2.5 months into his recovery, I went up to the kitchen counter, and all the kids are sitting there, and he's in the lazy boy, and I knocked on the counter. I said, okay, family, I want off. I don't want out, but I want off, because I can't be this facade anymore. I can't do this and BS anymore. I have to figure it out. How did I get this way? How did I get this angry, this anxious, this overweight, pissed off, resentful? Am I missing anything? How did I get here? Anyway, I found a couple of great products, time-saving devices. Look at this one. The Bathe and Brew. Shower, coffee maker, soap dispenser. Is that not fantastic? I know, you can finally take cream with your conditioner. There's probably about 10 of you going, yeah, that is awesome. It's really awesome. If you like that time-saving device, you're going to love this one. Look at this one. The wine rack. Yeah! See, now you can drink and work out at the same time. Forget the apres stuff. Time-saving devices. There's also one called the Beer Belly. It just holds more volume. So, go off to your summer concerts or just use baggies in your bras. It's just me. Anyways, I'm cheap. All right, let's go back to the other F word again. Fine. Do yourselves a giant favor, and here's the first of many challenges I'm going to throw at you for the next 2 days. For the rest of today and for all of tomorrow, don't say the word. Catch yourself. How are you? Just don't say it. If you're great, claim it. If you're not doing great, say, you know what? Having a tough day. Just say it. But as Canadians, we just don't really want to say, oh, I'm just doing so great. I'm just having the best time ever. Because what if you're not? We want to go, if you're here, I want to go lower than you. That's what we're good at as Canadians. No, I'm saying if you're great, you claim it. If you're not so great, claim it. Just don't say here. Because right here, this fine line is a beautiful excuse. It's just an excuse. We don't do anything different. So let's do a little bit of a test. The opposite of being fine is feeling alive in your skin. And we're on the long weekend here. So on your tables, you have a little survey. Pull that out. I'm going to give you literally 30 seconds to finish it. The toughest part of the survey is you have to add it up. So we can bring out your phones, add it up. But I want a number because I want to tell you what the numbers mean. Be honest with yourself. If anybody has an extra one, share them. Right? You're doing the audit. Just this quick snapshot. You know what off your gut level already? Just give it a number. Don't do them all 5s because then you're really just fooling yourself. Or 7s. You can hide it, you can burn it, you can do whatever you want, but add it up because I want to tell you what the numbers mean. And if you're getting some low scores, don't panic. It's pretty common. It's also pretty common for entrepreneurs to have some fairly low scores. So if you're entrepreneurial in this room and you own a business, you run a business, don't freak out. You got the numbers? I know I'm not giving you any time. You got to do it fast. Hey. Oh, that's a picture taker. Oh. Oh. She'll blur that part out. The Like when you see a naked person, they blur it out. That's what they'll do. Okay, you got your numbers? Let me just tell you this. There's an organization in Canada called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. People who become members of EO have to make a certain level of income. So income to them is not a real, financially they do pretty well. When I did this survey with them last year at their national conference, their averages that day were 42. The averages in the room were 42. But that's not what the normal averages are. That's super low. I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know what your number is when you added it up, but here's what it means. If you scored 0 to 40, you're probably doing okay in a couple of areas, that's it. And you're you're in denial of a few, but you know you've got some stuff to do, and you feel it. You have low level of happiness and satisfaction in a lot of things. If you are between 40 and 60, you are normal. So I've been doing this with thousands of people now for the last few years. Pretty much everybody comes in around 51, 52. Everybody. Which means some parts are working well, but there's a few areas that you know but would really exponentially increase your level of happiness and satisfaction if you put some energy into them. If you scored 60 to 80, 1 or 2 only need a little bit of attention. And if you scored over 80, and when I used to ask people to put their hands up, who got 80 or 90? I get, like literally, in the first year, I think I had 4 people put their hands up. 4 total. If you scored high on this Alive list, you live a very intentional life. You wake up in the morning before your feet hit the ground and you know exactly how you're going to start your day, right? You bookend the start of your day and you bookend the end of your day. It's a practice that you have. That practice doesn't have to be anything other than what you love to do that sets you up to have the best day possible. That could be that you walk your dog. It means that you make the best cup of coffee ever and you sit down and enjoy that cup of coffee and just stare out into to the trees or however you want to start the day. Maybe it's reading, whatever it is. No judgment on that, but it's a practice that you practice. In the middle of the day when life happens, you have a process on how you deal when the caca hits the fan. Dial a friend, dial a mentor, all the people we were talking about before, like who do you call when you need to unwind something? And you practice that as well. So you have process and you have practice. People who score high make those decisions intentionally every day. They don't just get out of bed and start playing racquetball with their life. Meaning what? They just respond to the ball. That's what lots of us do. Stop just responding to the ball if you want your life scores to go up. So look at your score, look at your list. Choose one area on that page, one area that you know intrinsically needs some time and attention right now, and just write it at the bottom of the page. You can still burn it when we're done if you don't want anybody to see it. Honest, honey, I was thinking about you. I've gotten more trouble over these darn forms. Right, so I want you to commit to one thing that you need to put some time and energy into. You got it? One thing. Here's how life works. It's real simple. We all have a lot of stuff in our heads. Very few of us ever write it down on paper. Why? Because then I might have to see it. Yeah. And very, very few of us ever actually put it into the ether. So, turn to the person beside you and tell them the one thing that you want to put some time and energy into. And if it's fooling around, say, it's fooling around. I need to fool around more. Just tell them. Share it. I don't care how embarrassing it is. I know, I'm classy. I'm a classy broad from Alberta. All right, I need a couple brave souls. You want to get stuff done? This is the magic pill. This is how simple life is. Who wants to share with all of us the one thing they're going to work on? I need a couple. Yes, go. Not spending money. Okay, so mom's got to keep calling her out. All right, who else? Come on, put it into ether, yes. Okay, who else put body and physical health down? Just so you know, it's the most common one. I'll give you 2 tips. Because okay, the last job I had, I worked for Participaction. You remember them? Anyway, so my soapbox. But I wrote this in my first book, Shift to Get Off the Pot. 2 things. We are exactly who we are because of our habits. Exactly who we are because of our habits. So if you want to be more active, you must always do something on a Monday. If you do something on a Monday, you tend to do it on a Wednesday, maybe on a Saturday, then it kind of carries on. If you wait until Wednesday pushes into Friday, which pushes into next week. We know that, right? Always do something on a Monday. If you put down physical and body image and physical activity down in your form, today's not a Monday. What day is it? I don't have a clue myself, but anyways. It's a Thursday. What day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday? I seriously have no idea. That's not a joke. So if you put it down, you have to do something today. That's my point. Okay, and the last thing is, around physical activity, stop overthinking it. So at the end of the day, or when you walk out of here in 20 minutes, you tie your shoes on and you say to yourself, don't think. Stop thinking. Oh, Ellen, stop thinking. But it's Oprah. I don't give a shit. Just keep, don't think. You don't think your way out the door. Is that clear? All right. So the only thing worse than not feeling fully alive is what? Oh, we're good at this. Is pretending that we are. Stop pretending. If nothing else, if these 2 days do nothing else for you, at least be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell everybody, but just, and again, it's easy. No, it's simple, but it's not easy. Being honest with ourselves is simple. It's just not easy. All right. So when's the last time? Talking about the long weekend. The last time you did something for the first time. This saying I've had on every piece of marketing material for the last almost 20 years of my career. When's the last time you did something for the first time? Hang on a second, honey. But what I want you to actually ask yourself is, how old are your stories? How old are your stories? And I'm talking about the ones that you rehash with your good friends when you get together with them. Right? Like me, summer 88. Oh, yeah. Yeah, summer 88. Now, as I'm looking in this room, there's probably a couple of summer 78s. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Definitely a couple of 88s like me. Some 98s, some 08s, some 18s. No, they won't be allowed to come in. But anyway, so who in this room is currently in their 20s? Who's in their 20s? Lots of you. Okay, here's the best advice the rest of us could ever give you if you're in your 20s right now. You have to go out and create some really good stories, and they've got to be good. Because you're going to be talking about them for 50 years, okay? You're going to be telling them 50 years. It can't be, I went to Fort St. John to the Spark Conference, and I took my wine from the lounge right to my room. Oh, my gosh. No. You do that naked, we got a story, okay? And why? This has been talked about all day. Why? This is literally, and I'm going to say it, I'm just repeating, this is your game changer in all of your businesses, in all of your careers. Stories are so important because it's the only thing we've had since we've been on the planet. But the only reason we're on the planet is to connect to each other. That's the only reason we're here. And the only way we connect to each other is not through the detail, the data, the spreadsheet, whatever it is. That we don't connect that way. We connect to each other because I know something about you, you know something about me. Which means you got to open up a titch. Which means you got to get a bit vulnerable for some of you that hold your cards close to your chest. Me, I'm like an open rag. That's an old saying, but anything you want to know, I'll tell you. But I got to know something about you. Love dogs? I love dogs. You lost your mom? I just lost my mom. I want to know something. And you do that with your teams, and you open a bit. Talk about accountability. That is what teams are, knowing each other. And if you really think about it, and back to your good friends, you got to stay friends because they helped you bury the body. They know too much about you, right? When's the last time you did something for the first time? Once, and I don't talk about, I got to come on a plane, I get to come to Fort St. John and do this cool stuff. No, that's my job and that's privilege. I mean, when's the last time you dared yourself, scared yourself, pushed yourself on anything you ever wanted to try? It doesn't have to be going around the planet. It could be, right? And I say this, and literally, it's on all of my marketing materials. And I'm also full of crap. Because up to a few years ago, I hadn't done much for a very long time. Oh, I talked about it a lot on stage, but I hadn't really done much about it. So I came across this movie, The Way. Who's seen the movie The Way? Beautiful movie about walking the Camino. Who's heard about the Camino to Santiago? It's a pilgrimage that's been walked on in Spain for thousands of years. Well, I saw this movie because I'm doing what? Sitting in a hotel room, which I do really, really good, and watch movies. And I got so inspired, I became obsessed with walking the Camino. Now remember, I had literally just done this. I want off. I have to figure this out. I see this movie, I'm like, oh, I'm going to walk the Camino. I'm going to have a, I'm going to have the biggest aha I could ever have. So I read everything I could read. I watched everything I could watch. I obsessed with the research, except a couple of small pieces I missed. A, what's the weather like in the month of March? In the rainiest part of Europe. And B, how many people walk the Camino then? And that'd be nobody. Except for 20-year-old young German guys who won't talk to you because you're kind of like their mom. Like, I'm the last thing they were interested in. But I had 3 goals. I'm a bit of a goal setter. Number one, I was hoping I was going to meet a new friend. Have you ever thought that? As I'm in my mid-50s, I want a new friend. And I hope that person's from the other side of the planet. Well, I never met a person, so I never made a friend. And I'm not kidding you. I'm not even exaggerating. And we speakers know how to exaggerate. Number 2, I'm walking 25 to 40K a day. I'm thinking, it'd be great if I could lose a pound. Not one. I'm not kidding you. And I'll tell you why in just a second. And number 3, I don't know about you, but I have a pretty strong voice in my head. Anybody else have a pretty strong voice in their head? I actually named mine. You should name your voice in your head. My name is Hagdalinda. The kids call me that when I was a camp leader. Anyway, Hagdalinda, who's pretty mean to me. And I was hoping, my goal was that I'd like myself more by the time I finished that sucker. And that one took way longer than I expected. But off I went, and I'm getting my passport. Is anybody in the room walk the Camino? I don't care which one. You did. Still, we're talking after. Anybody else? I need 2 rubs. Yay! Sorry. They're pilgrims. And how would you say your experience was walking the Camino? It was really good.
I'm from Spain, so it's kind of easy.
And yourself, how was it for you? I really enjoyed it, yeah. Okay. So you get this passport, and you get a bunch of stamps wherever you stop, right? And in the first couple days, it was lovely. It was 24 degrees out. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I got the expensive mech pants that zip off at the knees, You got shorts, you got pants, you got shorts, you got pants. It's great. I got my 65-liter backpack. What an idiot. Anyway, I'm a bit of a just-in-case person, just in case this, just in case that, just in case the sun hits the earth. I got something for that. And it's like walking in a postcard. It's beautiful out. What I'm not noticing yet is there's nobody there. So ironically, I take my first selfie, which ends up being like hundreds of selfies later, which ironically became the cover of my book. Because it kind of looks like I'm standing in front of a microphone now, doesn't it? I think that's pretty appropriate. Anyway, I stayed in my first hostel. Have you ever stayed in a hostel? This one was like IKEA. It was super clean, had a guy's bathroom and a girl's bathroom. The last one I saw the entire 35 days. You just might as well get used to showering with 20-year-old German guys. I mean, who won't speak English to you. Anyways, but still, that's the next day, only $7.90 to go. And within 4 days, literally, the wind came in, the rain came in, the snow came in, the wind, the rain, the snow, the wind, the rain, the snow, the wind, the rain, the snow. Every day was a frickin' creek. And I'm like, I'm a motivational speaker. I need to be more grateful. So I go, well, thank God I'm wearing Gore-Tex boots, because why? They're waterproof, right? Which means they don't breathe. So yes, everybody who walks the Caminos, it's blisters. I lost all my toenails. The pain from that is great. Why? Because it distracts you from how boring it is when you get to the walking across the prairies part of the Camino. I mean, you can see 28 kilometers in front of you. You know it's going to take you 7 hours, and not going to see a person say hi, hola, adios, and nothing. I'm also a princess, meaning I love a good thread count. I do. And I was always afraid. When I travel, where am I going to the bathroom? Literally anywhere I wanted to go to the bathroom, no one was there. So the first reason, there's only 2 reasons why you'll never lose a pound when you're walking 25 to 40K a day is number 1, you actually have to lower the cortisol hormone, stress hormone in your body, but I was pissed off every day, so my stress level never came down. That's number 1. And number 2, basically bottle of wine was $1.19, okay? It's cheaper than water, and it's great. For my Spaniard friends over here, I was just there 2 weeks ago. It's still that cheap. It's even cheaper than that. It's actually free. It's not a folklore. It comes out of the fountains, and when you're still wet from the day before, my mother's voice would kick in. Oh, Linda, just add a little ginger ale. It's kind of like a sangria. I'm like, oh, yeah. Ma, you're so wise. Yeah, a lot of wine. I called home. Now, my mom was sick with cancer at the time. My dad, who's never been on the internet ever, she's on the phone. She's like, oh, your dad's been, not that she ever talked like this. Oh, your dad's been asking me, how does he find you on the WW? I go, well, it's actually not called the WW. But anyways, get him on the phone. So this is the sweetest thing he's ever said to me. He says, Linda, you'd be so proud. I went down to the AMA. I got a map of Spain, and I've been following you with a ruler. I'm like, that is, for some of you, it does matter. An inch equals 10 miles, whatever, you know. I said, he goes, but you must be so proud. I said, I'm almost there. Literally, probably the next hour and a half, I'll be there. And if you've seen the movie or you've walked the Camino, when you land in front of the big cathedral in Santiago, it's a big deal. You've been out there for a long time. It's high fives, it's hugs, it's lots of tears. It's a really, really emotional time. Except not for me, because it's pouring rain and not a soul was there. So I just went and bought another couple bottles of dollar wine, and that was that. Anyways, and literally the next day, and I'm not exaggerating, the sun came out. And I watched it. Made me even madder. For 6 weeks, it was beautiful, solid weather in that region. So I was commiserating with a couple of colleagues, and one of them said to me, Linda, I tell all my students this, first the work, then the lessons. First the work, then the lessons. All these beautiful ladies are up here talking about their lessons. You never know when the lesson's going to come. You're doing the work, and then the lesson. So all of us in this room right now are in some work. And it might be your work. It might be your family work. It might be your children work. It might be your aging parents work. It might be in your relationship work. It might be you working on you work. If you're in some work right now, if you're in some work right now, please, please, please lean into the work. Because if you lean into the work, you'll just find out so much about yourself. Like you said, it was always there. Something was, but you never saw the sign. It's just the thing. I'll make it more scientific. You all know the change cycle. The work is not comfortable. It's discomfort. It's confusing. It hurts. You don't like it. That's just the way it is. But if you lean into it, you get to discovery. New people, new friends, you hear something slightly different. It's all been there. You just weren't quite ready for it yet. And you go through it so much quicker. If you're in some work, please, please, please lean into it. The truth is not always beautiful, but it's a great place to be. So let me just run down some tips for you for the long, long weekend. Like, how are you going to do the stuff you really want to do, right? How are you going to be energized? How are you going to bounce back when you're exhausted? How do you find some energy? How do you manage your energy? So just a few quick tips. Number 1, we need to move more. The most exhausting thing we've done all day is what? Sit. You need to make your offices less convenient. Do not fill up your water glass when you get water full. Only quarter. So you have to get up and go get some more water, and then you go back and sit down. I mean it. Do not put recycling and garbage under your desk. Nope. Turn your chair, take a step, and throw it. I mean, seriously, make everything less convenient. Move your bodies every time you have an opportunity to make a decision. Should I take the stairs or should I take the elevator? Should I take the stairs or should I take the escalator? The decision you're actually making is, as we age, do I want to be in a care home or on a cruise ship dancing? That is the decision we're making. I don't care how you move. I don't care what you do. I don't care whether you're a runner, a walker, a biker, a gardener, a golfer. What does it matter? Just think in the terms of more oxygen in your blood system moving through your body. End of story, non-negotiable. Number 2, Oh. For those of you with young children, really young children, I know, it's elusive. By the way, as we age, shit goes down, sleep goes down the toilet too. She'll kick in later. Don't worry. Don't write it in the feedback. She'll be talking to me later about that one. Sleep. Okay, you got to take sleep seriously. Serious sleep is a practice that takes practice. It's a habit. So you need to set yourself up for the best possible practice for your sleep. You need to sleep in a very dark room. You have to create that. You need to sleep in a very cool room. You have to create that. That's a 64, 65 degree room. A very quiet room. You need to get your butt into bed prior to 10 p.m. at night. Now, you work your buns off. Everybody in this room works their buns off. You deserve good linen. It's not part of the practice, but I think you deserve good linen. Go and spend some money on some nice linen. You deserve it. Oh, God. I don't know. Crisp and clean, 600. Costco's got sales all the time. Right? And you also need to sleep naked. That's part of the practice. And if you sleep naked, well, because your clothes actually wake you up, by the way. If you sleep naked, you might score higher on the alive list on some other areas. I'm saying. Number 4 is laughter. If you've laughed at all through this last 45 minutes, you're healthier right now than before when you're not laughing. Laughter is the most beautiful drug out there because it energizes you and calms you down in the exact same moment. You have to make it absolutely mandatory that you're laughing at work. Everything is quirky. The more the quirky, the better. I get it. We all have different styles of humor. Some of you are conservative because I can see the horror in your eyes. Some of you are a little more edgy, and some of us are just downright raunchy. I don't give a rip what style of humor you are. Just laugh more. If you're going through, because statistically the numbers of us in this room right now, if you're going through the heartbreak of your life right now, and some of you are, laughter is your best bridge into healing. We need to laugh more at the inappropriate times. It is the most appropriate response sometimes at the most inappropriate times. And there is humor everywhere. This is literally I was telling Rosemary this last night. I have spilled a lot of glasses of red wine on a lot of people, on a lot of rugs. That my girlfriend just said, that's your motto. If you're going to make an impression, it might as well be a stain. So for those of you I've chatted with or came by the scarf table, I have a charity that started 15 years ago where we rescue girls out of child bonded labor and put them in the school. And the first time I ever went to Nepal, who's been to Nepal? A couple of you? Yes. It's chaos. It's craziness, right? Nothing makes sense. Anyway, the first time I went, I was speaking for Ontario Hydro when I came home. I took this picture of one of their hydro lines because they're all like this. I think, oh, that's going to be funny, right? Well, I went in the back last year and took my sister, Diane from Edmonton, and I took this one. Look at that one. Wow. You know, and you're going, hey, how come my Wi-Fi's down? I don't know. Let's get some hot bread. Doesn't make sense. Nothing there makes sense, by the way. It's chaos. It's craziness. It's awesome. You're right? There's humor everywhere. They advertise hot showers all over the place. Now, every time I've been to Nepal, we've been there 15 years. We usually go once or twice a year. I've never once had a hot shower. I think they just say, oh, Linda's coming. Turn off the hot water. There's no hot water. So I walked my sister up on a bit of a trek going towards Everest Base Camp. And that was an experience. And walk into this tea house, and this is the menu. It says, you can have a hot shower, Wi-Fi, and an STD. I said, wow! That is a full-service restaurant. That's hilarious to me. And Diane, my older sister, she's like, Linda, shh. Like, she's been shushing me since I was 3. And this Australian dude sitting next to her goes, hey, love, he goes, you can get an international STD here, too. And I said, I'm in Nepal. If I'm getting one, it better be international. You're healthier this second because that's funny. And you laughed at that. There's quirky everywhere. Honk if you love Jesus. Text while driving if you want to meet him. See? Even God's got a sense of humor. Now, this next church sign, which I took a picture of while I was driving by going down Glenmore in Kelowna, Norma, who puts up the signs, did not realize what Norma was putting up when she put it up. It lasted maybe 10 minutes. It says, staying in bed and shouting, oh, God, is not the same as going to church. I think it was Norma, the neighbors are calling, we are the Baptist church. You know, not the United Church, we're the Baptist, okay? A little more conservative. That's funny. All right. Number 4 is clarity. If you come to my workshop tomorrow, this is all we're going to work on. What do you want? We're going to lean into the bear tomorrow. Don't worry, you don't have to tell me. If you do, though, it's going to happen much faster. What do you really want? You know the most common response I get to that question? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know? You know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I go, no, you know. We don't want to admit we know, because if we admit we know, what? We don't do something about it. I know. That's the hard. I know. It's simple, but it's not easy. All right. Where's my yoga lady? There she is, beautiful. Number 4 essential, creating spaces intentionally to just be. Silent. Can you imagine? That's why I went on the Camino. Forced silence almost took me down. Oh, I had a Forrest Gump day too. God for me. You ever had that kind of conversation? Whatever you believe in, I was just like, oh. Think about it, 35 days having a conversation in your own head. I didn't actually start losing weight till I came home, because I continued walking. And I always say, and I love hills. I love going up, because it's a bit of endurance, and then down. I always say, I go up with God, and down with the stones. I don't put music in my ears until I'm on the way down. Creating spaces to just be. I actually felt, when I started doing this, the stress cortisol hormones actually I felt it leave my body. So I know that you can intentionally create spaces to just be and see what happens. See, because beautiful creative ideas are jumping around all the time. And if you got no space for it to land, if your plate is so full, it's going to bounce off your plate and onto somebody who's got a bit of space. So if you want to take some stuff off your plate, you might want to. I'm trying to sell you because I got competition tomorrow. So, what number are we on? 6, contribution. I call this choosing a slice of the planet. I don't care what slice you choose. Right inside this community, which is beautiful, you're doing some great things. Even with the conference, it's fantastic. Right inside your province, right inside this country, or on the other side of the world. And the only reason I chose Nepal is because my girlfriend was a teacher who was working there. That's it. She says, Linda, you're in front of lots of people. If I give you a bag of scarves and you sell them, maybe we could raise a couple $300. And we could buy a couple of girls back out of child bonded labor and get them into school. And 15 years pass, and we're talking thousands of girls and thousands of their parents and homes and classrooms and vocational centers. And I'll tell you, if I would have known what it's become back then, if I could have seen that, I probably never signed up. Because in my head, I'd be thinking, I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can handle it. No, we all have another gear. We all have a gear we don't even know we have. And I'm not saying you got to do that. I'm just saying choose a slice. Because we sit here right now today privileged. We know that, right? We know that. What comes with privilege is what? Responsibility. Now, if you're a volunteeraholic and you're over-volunteering, you're over-slicing, then definitely come to tomorrow's workshop. Because we'll take a couple of those off your plate. So just a few pictures, then I'll wrap this up. Nepal, we bribe our girls if they get to grade 8 with a bike. That's like us coming out of university and we get a car. It's a big deal. The girls do all the work still. Girls go to work so that their brothers can go to school, and not just in Nepal, in lots of countries, including our own. Right? Girls and women are marginalized all over the planet. But we bribe them because we don't want them to get married too young. We want them to stay in school and finish so they can feel some success. As my oldest daughter, if you ever want your kids to realize that they have way more in the tank than even they think they do, you take them to a developing country where there's no Wi-Fi. It's amazing. You have to talk to each other. It's just absolutely amazing. If you ever want to come, we go twice a year normally. We got another trip going in November, and you work. We build stuff, we create stuff, we help people, and it's like, we haven't got backhoes. It's hand dug, hand troweled. There's no wheelbarrows. It is work, but I'll tell you, and I don't even like beer. It is the best cold beer you have ever had at the end of a workday. And we built that as Unico House. That's our yellow building in the back. That's our vocational center where all our moms groups meet. They have completely become independent. They have their own banking system. They created. We did nothing of that. That's what a teeny little bit of education, a little bit of numeracy, and a little bit of literacy. That's what that has done. The only way we'll ever eradicate poverty on the planet is through education. Because once you know something a bit more, you can't go back. So this is myself, my sister, and Michelle Bono. Michelle Bono is my girlfriend who, hey, you ever get together for your book club, but it's not really about a book club, it's just really wine and popcorn? Anybody else have a book club like that? Right. We're having a book club of wine and popcorn, and she had decided, okay, I'm going to go back. And she says, you sell some scarves. I said, okay, and this all happened in last June. Michelle on the left, Bono, retired school teacher, retired nun. By the way, swears way more than I do, so I think I'm good to go. And the fact that I've done the Camino, I've got a fast track to heaven, so I'm good. She got the Order of Canada last June for this work, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And she still won't recognize it. Like she has she has a tough time receiving, I think it's her training, of taking it in, that she was responsible for that. Anyways, our sewing moms, and here's what education does. This is what empowerment is. These ladies would not look you in the eye before. They always have their, have their heads down. And Harry was in Nepal when we were there. Pretty cool. He came to Unico House. Yeah, no, I photoshopped him in. He wasn't really there, but I tell you, I have people. I have friends in Kelowna who think that he was actually, because he was in Nepal when we were there. And so I'm thinking, would it be great if? And I'll tell you, my Facebook blew up, and I'm like, oh crap, no, he wasn't really there. But I haven't been sued yet, so what the hell. Anyways, it's kids, it's moms, and when I talk about independence, like they're starting their little businesses. They're not going on vacation, but they might be eating a better quality of food. They might be sleeping on a better mattress on the floor in their mud huts. And there's way less domestic violence. That's what education and sisterhood has done for these women. So when you think you can't change a slice of the planet, you absolutely can chase a slice of the planet. It's within our ability to do that. Our sewing moms, they would never have taken this picture before. So proud anyways, and she's a cover of our book we did for them. Number 7, you know this, gratitude. It's your superpower. And it's been proven that it's just not even the thing that you're grateful for. Just the search. Just search right now for something to be grateful for. I'm literally almost done. And boom, chemicals into your system, and it's what makes you feel better. So when you're in a state of overwhelm, what do? And as the cartoon says, just pick one flower stand, start there. Pick your purse and start there. Try your desk and start there. Choose one shelf in a closet in your house, start there. Choose one box of the 7 or 8 that haven't been opened since you moved in 10 years ago, start there. A part of anything, just start, just literally. Here's what motivation isn't. It's not about me or anybody else. Sorry, everybody. It's not about any of us standing here blabbing at you. Motivation is physics. It's about literally putting one foot in front of the other and walking into something and let inertia take over. And things will start to roll. So just move on. Anything is the point. Anything. Just take an action towards something. All right. I think I'm almost done. If you'd like a free copy of Breaking Busy, well, you don't need one because you got a copy. But if you know anybody who would like to have a free copy of Breaking Busy, you just download it. Or you can give me your email address and I'll send you one. Are you happy? Do you want to be? And I'll leave you with this research because I just love this lady. Laurie Santos from Yale University started a class for first-year students who were so stressed on psychology of well-being. The class was so overfull they had to put it in a stadium. So then she started doing all this crazy research, like what are the commonalities that happy people do, commonalities that unhappy people don't do? And they're super simple. I call it the 20 minutes that'll change your life. Number 1, have people carve time for themselves every day. Carve it. You're not going to find it. It's not going to drop on your desk. You have to take it. Schedule it. Number 2, have people practice and thinking about things they can be grateful for. Bonus points if you do this just as you're falling asleep at night, because that's what fills your brain versus the to-do list of tomorrow. You'll have a better restful sleep, a more restorative sleep. Number 3, have people do kind gestures and acts for people. It's more for you actually than it is for the person you're being kind to, because it gives you that beautiful chemical into your system. And bonus points is if you do any or all of this outside in nature, and that is hands down proven that your mental and physical well-being goes through the roof if you can just get outside. I'm clear, right? Let's have a good party tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. My privilege.